It's Saturday morning looking north at a classic CPR standard Western Line station. Tribune, Saskatchewan. It's July 23rd, 2016. Highway 35, the railroad crosses a couple hundred yards north beyond the cemetery. Tribune's grain handling facilities. The last elevator, Richardson Pioneer, was knocked down in 2011. Looking west, this is the Trossachs Plains in through here. On the southwestern horizon over there is the Lake Alma uplands, morainal deposits, sort of the foothills of the Missouri Coteau, maybe 10 miles away. Between here and there runs Long Creek, northwest to southeast. Canola in bloom. Not all of the yellow stuff is canola. I think the near bright yellow stuff might be sow thistle. Brome grass in the ditch of Highway 35. The U.S. boundary is 16 miles straight south there. 26K. Quite a bit of water in the slough this year. It's creek fed from the northwest and drains into the Long Creek system, which in turn contributes to the Souris River a few miles to the south. Darn horseflies. Well, they looked like they baled quite a bit of hay this year with another cut coming. That's good. Panning around to look back north. Not sure whether this is a plan A2 or a plan 4. It wasn't originally stuccoed, and of course it wasn't originally here. Not sure when it got sold off, probably in the early 60s. Got this far, 2 miles south of town. It suffered its first indignity in 1942 when it lost one bay of its freight shed there. Oh, and we're getting closer. It's a tough go on a bicycle this morning. Winds from the north, and we're heading north. CR and I. On the east side of the highway between the station and the railway. Station's not even a mile away from the CPR right-of-way here. Canadian Pacific built this line out from Estevan beginning in 1912. It was your Neptune sub, went all the way to Neptune, 14.1 miles farther northwest from Tribune here. I think the line got out as far as Torquay, and then paused there for a year or so, and was built up this way. 1914. This might be the CPR grounds here that the station was at mile 40 from Estevan. There's the mile marker, even though things got rearranged on this line back in 1960. Tribune is divided into two parts. The part that was perpendicular to the railway on the west side of the highway. This part here, which is parallel to the highway. One old street and an alley. And St. Mary's is on that street. Danton Street marking the eastern boundary of the village. St. Mary's here since 1952. I'm not sure what other churches are here before that. Must have been one or two, but the only one I know of is the Holy Family Ukrainian Catholic Church, somewhere in the neighborhood since 1919. James Jones opened the rural post office of Romford on January the 1st, 1905, about 5 miles east of here. Yeah, I guess the kids go down to Angre to school now, only about 10 k's south. E.W. Bond closed the Romford post office on November the 30th, 1912. Concrete sidewalks. Because the next day, on December the 1st, 1912, H.N. Brown opened the Tribune post office on the town site here. Imperial Elevator and Lumber opened the first grain elevator on the town site in 1913. Long Creek Grain opened in 1914, and Ogilvie Flour Mills opened in 1915. The last one to go up was the UGG, United Grain Growers, in 1983. And I know someone's asking what weight of rail they used on this line. 80 pounds to the yard. It was a great day for Tribune when the community incorporated itself as a village on February the 18th, 1914. Unfortunately, it had to relinquish that status on December 31st, 2017, and it's now a ward of the rural municipality of Souris Valley number 7. Wow, you don't see many of those facilities anymore. And there's C.R. Wilson examining the Stella on the supposed site of the railway station. And we're west of town, about a mile. It's Monday, October the 4th, 2021. So you rise above the farm house to look north up Range Road 154. In the distance we can see the end of the Tribune sub, the new end. Let's go over and take a little look-see, shall we? And here it is, and we're looking northwest towards Maxim and Neptune. The sub was truncated, withdrawn 14.1 miles from Neptune down to here in 1959. Stripped of steel the next year. This end, at least, you can see is used for storage. Those appear to be TC-111 type tank cars. 102 tons of crude oil you can put on each one of them. 25,000 imperial gallons. Probably the same kind that ended up in the middle of Lake Megantic a few years ago. The bush line there defines the northern boundary of the community. The census of this year will find that there's 45 people resident in Tribune and about half that many dwellings. The bright red roofed building on Rhines Avenue between Capitol Street on the left and Senate Street is new since CR and I were there in 2016. You can see the green roof St. Mary's Church over on Danton Street there south of Bismarck. This was a busy place in the 19-teens with 5 general stores, 2 lumber yard, newspaper, the Weyburn Security Bank, blacksmith, 2 livery barns, hotel, 2 cafes, 2 churches. We're way above and looking due east down Township Road 35, the rail line off to the southeast there. Bromhead is 8 miles away. Estevan a further 32 miles to the east. Highway 35 crosses the rail line at mile 40 in Tribune. 6 miles down the line towards Bromhead there in 1926, CP dropped in a junction that they called Southall and sent a line out to Lake Elma that year. Farther on out to Minton the next couple of years. that line drained a lot of business from the northwest end of the Neptune branch, and hence in 1959 it was abandoned, and Tribune ended up on the Tribune spur of the Brom Head sub. Saskatchewan.